Hey everyone, and another happy lazy Sunday to you, my lovely weekend warriors. I hope the weekend has been good to y'all, and if not, sit back, relax, and let me entertain you for a moment. I am so excited to talk about this weekend's movie as it is the most anticipated movie of the year, and that is Avengers Endgame. And I decided to make this a bit of a review buffet as there are a couple of movies that I did not get a chance to review because the channel was pretty much just a scribble on a napkin. So we're going to do a speed round review as we cover Avengers Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and just barely cover Captain Marvel, as I already have done a full review on that, which the link will be in the description. So this way we'll be up to date with Avengers Endgame. So without further ado, let's start this speed review in 3, 2, 1. Avengers Infinity War, starring pretty much everyone in the Marvel Universe: Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Hemsworth, Benedict Cumberbatch, Tom Hiddleston, and Tom Holland, Chadwick Boseman,
a few moments later,
Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, and Bradley Cooper. This was a culmination of 10 years bringing in one of Marvel's most threatening villains of all time, Thanos, and it did not disappoint, as this is one of Marvel's greatest movies of all time. The movie kept me in a constant state of anxiety as Thanos sets the stakes really high from the very get-go by kicking some major Avenger ass, as Josh Brolin also knocks it out of the park, as well as the rest of the ensemble, as we get some timeless team-ups that make for some entertaining scenes. My only gripe with this movie is how it treats some of the characters. It really downplays the Guardians of the Galaxy as well as Doctor Strange, as it really changes some of their characteristics. Also, the movie again really makes Vision take a really backseat, as it made him more useless than an Amazon dot sitting in the corner of your room that you really didn't know existed. Anyways, this movie gets an A all the way. Ant-Man and the Wasp, a very cute, funny heist movie that finally shows the dynamic duo of Ant-Man and the Wasp. It was really funny and a nice palate cleanser after Infinity War, and come on, you can never go wrong with Paul Rudd, as he's always a fun time to watch. The movie was pretty much forgettable because it also faces the same problems after coming the high after Infinity War, and it's your pretty much average paint-by-the-numbers Marvel movie with a pretty weak villain and a script that makes you accept some really absurd things with no explanation. So with all that being said, it gets a C+. If you want something funny, you can go with this one. Captain Marvel, I already covered this one, and it was pretty much an okay movie that was just plagued with some ridiculous behind-the-scenes antics. There was really a lot of potential for Marvel's first female lead movie, but it was just lacking some general background information, as the movie really fails to teach its audience Carol Danvers' motivations, powers, background, and just altogether lacks some serious character development. There's still a lot of fun moments that were in this movie, as Samuel L. Jackson and Brie Larson make a great pairing and makes for some entertaining scenes. I give this one a C-, as it was pretty much forgettable, and honestly, Wonder Woman did it better. Avengers Endgame, starring the original 6 Avengers along with Rocket Raccoon and Nebula having been the only ones to survive the dreaded snap of 2018. In Endgame, we get the surviving Avengers dealing with the aftermath of Thanos' victory, living with the fact that they have failed to save the universe. But they won't take this sitting down, as they are trying to come up with a plan to find Thanos and fix all the damage he has done, because like Iron Man said,
if we can't protect the Earth, you can be damn well sure we'll avenge it.
Now this movie is promised to be the grand finale to Marvel's ultimate goal, and I could not contain myself as I sat down in the theaters to watch this movie, as the hype was through the roof. So how did it do? Well, let's get into the positives. Avengers Endgame is a truly unforgettable experience. This movie was just so good, and everyone is all hands on deck, as the entire cast does an absolutely fantastic job with their performances. Everyone gets a chance to shine here, as they each are given their moments to show just how they feel about the situation that they are in. And we get some new team-ups here that I really like how the directors used in this movie, because there are some pretty odd pairings that don't seem to work, but it adds to the beauty of the situation, because you can just feel that there are some missing key ingredients from each group, and that being the fallen comrades who died during the snap. And that really has to do with Scarlett Johansson's performance, because OMG, she was phenomenal in this movie. Really dealing with the fallout of their loss and also some other very serious circumstances, which I really can't get into detail without spoiling this movie, but trust me, she brought so much to the table, as she really gets her moments in this movie, which she really doesn't get in other movies. The finale, oh my god, the finale was everything I could have ever hoped it could have been. This really saves the film, because if this wasn't in the movie, this movie would be a huge failure, but the finale is worth all of the slow moments. Now, let's get into the issues with the film, and one huge problem is that this movie is long and very slow. I'm not joking, folks. You better be ready because this movie is a major marathon and not a sprint. I was watching this movie and thought, man, this is really dragging on and we must be almost done, right? Nope, as we were only halfway through the movie by the time I looked at my watch. Now, Infinity War is only 20 minutes shorter than this one, but the pacing is handled very carefully in this movie that it just moves so slow. So be careful at what time you watch this movie, as the slow bits are very, very good, but I feel like only the hardcore fans will be able to stay awake during these slow and intimate moments. Another issue I have with the film is how it handles some of the characters in this movie, as it treats them somewhat as a joke, and I really didn't like how it was done. It was funny at first, but it gets really silly at the end especially. And also another character gets so put off to the side, I was like, wait, what about that person? They never really address what happens to this character, and I'm just like, what is going on? And I just could not forgive the movie. I was like, alright, I'll let this go, movie, but it's gonna really hit your grade in the end. So with all that being said, I'm giving Avengers Endgame a B+. It was almost an A, but the way the movie feels is just that it's way too long, but everything that made it so long was necessary to the film. Also, just the things that they do with these two characters was just too silly to accept, and the other character just being completely forgotten affected this movie. Now, if I'm being honest, Infinity War was a better all-around movie, and just because it was well-paced and didn't downplay characters as a joke, but this movie was still a perfect way to end the original series, and I highly recommend it. That's it for the review, you guys, but tell me, did you guys watch Endgame, and did you like it, or did you have issues with it? Put your comments in the comment section down below, and also show this video some love by giving it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel to get notifications of my latest reviews. Well, thank you for joining me, you guys, and I hope you have an amazing rest of the weekend,